Welcome, Ninja Village, to another episode of Chronicles Reviews. And if I sound dejected, defeated, and just out of it, it's because your boy went to go see Kraven the Hunter. And it's the newest and potentially the last Sony Spider-Man less Spider-Man movie they have. But before I go into why I'm dejected, defeated, and just over it, welcome to Car Chronicles Reviews with Scooter Ray, aka Scoot the Movie Watcher. And what's Car Chronicles Reviews for the uninitiated? That's where one or more of us ninjas discuss anything from movie, TV, gaming, conventions, events, pop ups, and things like that. And once again, I'm here to talk about Kraven the Hunter. Now, what was unique about this movie? It was delayed. It was supposed to come out last year, but due to whatever's, it got pushed to this year, and it's finally here. And let's go through the cast. You have Aaron Taylor Johnson, who's Sergei Sergei Kravinoff, aka Kraven, Ariana DeBose as Calypso, Fred Hitchinger as Dmitry Kravinoff, Sergei's little brother, Alessandro Nivola, sorry if I am pronouncing names wrong, as Alexei Sishovich. Christopher Abbott's in the movie. Russell Crowe is Nikolai Kravinoff, Sergei and Dimitri's dad, and you have others. Now, what makes this movie so just interesting was, well, let's talk about what makes it all interesting. This is the sixth Sony Spider-Man less movie. You have three Venoms, Madam Web, Morbius, and now Kraven. It was delayed a year. It is the only one of the movies that is rated R. And if we're really being honest, it could be potentially the worst. Maybe. Because if Madam Web or Morbius is competing for the worst, this is right there with it. This is right there with it. But let me try to give you a short overview of the story without spoiling. We meet, so when the movie starts, we do meet Sergei, aka Kraven. He's doing his thing. Then we see a flashback of when they were teens, accidents happen. That's how he became superpowered, which I get to other things. He became superpowered, and fast forward back to present day. His thing is he wants to, the lore of him is once you on the hunter's list, you're on it until you're off it, in essence. So he's kind of like a vigilante for hire. Like he's not really getting the low level. He's really getting like the people, like the big fish of things in that nature, and he's just doing his thing. And along the way, people, stuff, Kraven. Um, Now I went into this movie tried to be as impartial as possible because I was hearing what the critics were saying, everything. So I was like, let me go into it because it could truly be one of those sleepers. Kind of like, you know how it be. Sometimes you see those movies, you be like, you know what, I actually kind of like that one. This one, it's truly hard to get with it because let's separate this into two different things. If we make this just an action movie, if we strip away the property of Marvel with Kraven and everything and just make it just an action movie, it's bad. It's not like it's not one of them bad ones to where it's so bad that it's good. And it definitely didn't kind of do like when Taken, Raid Redemption, and John Wick and those type of movies came out, when they kind of gave that adrenaline shot to the action genre. This is literally slotted right into those just cheesy action movies. And if we're taking the aspect of a comic book movie with the lore, the property, and things like that, it makes it even worse. And for the gamers out there, it makes it even more worse because a year ago we seen a beautiful portrayal in Kraven in the Spider-Man 2 game. So I can only imagine the evisceration this movie would have got if it came out last year, considering Spider-Man 2. At least there was a year in between, but it's just the effects, the 3D effects, the story, the dialogue, how characters react to each other. Like, it was just, and you can tell there was effort. Like, ATJ is putting in effort. Ariana DeBose and Russell Crowe and Fred Hitchinger and so that they're putting in effort. It didn't come off as to me that, hey, we're getting a paycheck and it's just no, there was effort put into dialogue, put into the mannerisms and things like that. And it's just like, and it's funny because I'm looking at Fred Hetchinger and I'm thinking Gladiator 2 for me is like here. And then arguably now we have him and Kraven. This is here. So, and it's just, and it's crazy how we're even sandwiched, because in February we got Madam Web and we got sandwiched in with Kraven, just wow, sandwiched. And it's tough to watch at times because as a superhero movie, it feels dated. Like it feels like a 06, 07 superhero movie where you're just like, why does it feel so old feeling? Like, why does it, like, why is it so cheesy? And then it doesn't help that it's with the Marvel banner and we've seen what Marvel has given us. And not saying every movie in the MCU, and not saying every movie that Fox has made has all been bangers, but we've seen the quality with some of the Fox films and even some of the MCU. And then with Sony's case, it's like none of them. Like maybe what the first Venom is probably a saving grace, but it's a saving grace by tripping and falling in the finish line. You know, it's just bad. And what makes it even worse, this is 100% one of those movies where if you pretty much have seen all the trailers, you've seen a lot of the action. Because I thought that was going to be an even more saving grace for me, that with the action, it being rated R, that it was going to just lean into it, that we was going to really get some John Wick style type kills where it's going to really be. But you've seen a good chunk of them in the trailers, and it's like, oh, okay. And then some of the little kid binks and haha wink winks they try to do with hinting at Spider-Man and some of the more Spider-Verse as a lore, and it's like, y'all don't deserve to do this. You don't deserve to throw in little Easter eggs and ha-has. It's like, no, this is no. And then it doesn't help that story came out that Marvel was like, hey, we didn't put no restrictions on Sony. If they wanted to put Spider-Man in those movies, they could have. And then Sony was just like, oh, well, we just felt it wouldn't fit. So that's why Spider-Man was never in them. Thank you. Thank you, because even he couldn't have saved these movies. Now, granted, I have not seen I haven't seen Venom Last Dance, but I've seen Venom, Let There Be Carnage, Morbius, and Madam Web, and now Kraven. And yeah, I'm only giving this movie a 4 because the cast is trying. As far as everything else, mm-mm. I can 1000% see this being a movie that may get a cult following in essence with streaming, because it might get some boosts because of streaming. Kind of like how with Morbius and then it's Morbin time, and then Sony was like, "Oh wait, I think they messing with the movie now. Re-release it again." And no. It's gonna be one of the ones to where, if this is the last foray Sony has into making a Spider-Man / Marvel property, it may get some love because of that. Because it's the whole Viking send-off where we can kind of just set it on fire and let it burn and see. Let the whole Sony Spider-Man franchises burn at sea and just let it be over. But it's bad because once again, you can judge this movie on an action film and on a comic book movie, and when you do it, it's bad. It's bad. Like, people, if you hear people who genuinely say they like this movie, they really must like this movie, because the action, once again, if you've seen the trailers, you pretty much seen it. The action was cool. It wasn't like, oh God, here we go. No, the action was cool. It was everything else surrounding it. It was like, and then too, the fact that Kraven has superpowers and the way at times he moved, it was like, y'all could have did better than that one. Y'all could have did that better. But yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Viking Funeral. Shout out to Viking Prince Gaming. But Viking Funeral for this. But yeah, whether you loved it or hate it, don't forget to rate it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, perfectly thumbs up. Like, share, comment. Let us know what you think about Kraven. Let us know what you think about Sony's 6 Spider-Man movies. And if this is the end, how do you feel about it being the end? Once you do all of that, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and join the Ninja Village, where any and everyone is welcome. If you want to go that little step further, hit that notification bell so you can be notified for when we post more CCRs, LTSN cafes, boss reacts, ninja banters, and whatever else we post on the channel. Shouts out to the ninjas. Shouts out to anyone who's truly seen this movie. And shouts out to the ones, double salute for the ones who actually go see this movie and be like, you know what? I kind of like this movie. Double salute. I am not judging. I promise you, I am not judging. Because if you truly like this movie, you truly like this movie. And I am not judging. It's just from a action movie lover and a comic book movie lover, this misses on both marks. Both of them for me. Until then, everybody, once again, love yourself, take care of yourself, love one another, take care of one another. And until then, we all just trying to make the Ninja Village proud, y'all. But this movie is not making the Ninja Village proud. This movie right here, shout outs to ATJ though. For real. Shout outs to him. But this movie is not making the Ninja Village proud, y'all. Peace. Viking Funeral to the Sony Spider-Man-less Spider-Man films. Viking Funeral. I hope this is it. Peace.